My name is Matt Danacourt, and I'm an applications engineer here at Hanna Instruments. Today I'm going to show you how to set up, calibrate, and operate our HI84500 mini titrator for free and total sulfur dioxide. Now, understanding and controlling sulfur dioxide is critical to producing a successful wine, but the titrations involved can be labor-intensive and time-consuming, especially if you've got a lot of samples. Our mini titrator makes it fast and simple. Now, the first thing you want to do when you receive your kit is to inspect it and ensure that everything is present and accounted for. With the kit, you will receive a titrator, electrode holder and O-ring, one 100 milliliter beaker, two 20 milliliter beakers, a 3 milliliter pipette, a stirring magnet, a dosing pump valve with aspiration tube and dispensing tube, a titration syringe with fixing nut and O-ring, the HI84500 ORP electrode with protective cap, the HI7082 electrolyte fill solution, a power adapter, cleaning solutions, an instruction manual, and a calibration certificate. With your mini titrator, you'll receive a set of reagents. One bottle of low-range titrant, one bottle of high-range titrant, one bottle of calibration standard, one bottle of acid reagent, one bottle of alkaline reagent, and 50 packets of the stabilizer reagent. If you are missing anything from your kit or something is damaged, you'll want to contact our customer service department. If not, then it's time to set everything up. Setting up a Hanna mini titrator is easy. In just a few simple steps, you'll be on your way to your first measurement. Place the mini titrator on a flat table, plug in the power adapter, and turn on the instrument. Let's access the System Setup menu by pressing the Menu key and selecting Setup. Here you can use the arrow keys to scroll through the options to select the measurement range. The low range option measures from 1.0 to 40.0 parts per million, while the high range option measures from 30 to 400 parts per million. Be sure to use the appropriate titrant for each range. You can modify the time or the date. You can enable or disable the key beep with this option, as well as enabling or disabling the error beep. The decimal separator allows you to set which symbol to use. There are also options for LCD contrast and LCD backlight. You may select a different language if you wish, or enable our helpful tutorial tool for calibration and titration. It's a great option that'll help you along the way. The meter information is located here, as well as an option to restore factory settings. When you find something you'd like to change, simply use the virtual buttons to modify or enable the parameter, or simply escape out. Now that you have set up your mini titrator, it's time to prepare your electrode. The HI84500 mini titrator comes with the HI3148 ORP electrode. Simply remove the protective cap. Don't be alarmed if you see any salt deposits. This is normal. Simply rinse the electrode with DI water. Inspect the bulb for any air bubbles formed during transport. The electrode will not function properly if they're present. To remove these bubbles, simply shake down the electrode, as you would do with a glass thermometer. If the bulb is dry, soak the electrode in our HI70300 storage solution for at least 1 hour, and then connect it to the titrator. And that's it. Now we're ready to install and calibrate our dosing pump. Pump installation. To install the dosing pump, extend the plunger on the 5 milliliter syringe to its maximum volume. Place the syringe in its dedicated spot on top of the titrator. Be sure to arrange the bottom of the syringe into the holder on the pump and lock it into place. Once in place, lower the barrel until it sits flush on the holder. Put the O-ring and fixing nut over the syringe and turn clockwise to secure in place. Place the valve on top of the syringe and ensure it fits securely. Insert the aspiration tube into the left side of the valve and replace the titrant bottle cap with the attachment cap. And finally, insert the dispensing tube into the top of the valve. Next, we're going to prime the pump. Priming the pump. You should always run a prime cycle if you notice that there is no titrant in the dosing tip, whenever the dosing system tubes are replaced, whenever a new bottle of titrant is used, before starting a series of titrations, or in this case, before starting a pump calibration. Make sure the aspiration tube is inserted into the titrant bottle and the dosing tip is placed into a rinse beaker. Double check you have the correct titrant. We're using the HI84500-50 low-range titrant. select the prime option from the titration mode. Adjust the number of rinses with the arrow keys and press start. The number of syringe rinses can be set between 1 and 5. The pump is now ready for calibration. A pump calibration must be performed every time the syringe, pump tube, titrant bottle, or ORP electrode is changed. It is also recommended to perform a calibration once per day. Press Menu and select Setup to choose your range. We'll be measuring low-range free sulfur dioxide today. Again, you want to make sure that you have the correct titrant and that you've primed with the correct titrant as well. Using a clean pipette, precisely add 1 ml of HI84500-55 calibration standard to a clean 100 milliliter beaker. Fill the beaker up to the 50 milliliter mark with DI water. Next, fill the 20 milliliter beaker up to the 5 milliliter mark with HI84500-60 acid reagent and add it to the 100 milliliter beaker. Add the contents of 1 packet of HI84500-62 stabilizer packet to the 100 milliliter beaker. Press the Cal key. Place the dosing tip over a waste beaker. This is important. A small amount of titrant is dispensed when the pump resets. Press Start and wait for the syringe to refill. Now, place the stir bar in the beaker and the beaker in the top of the mini titrator. Place the probe holder over the beaker and secure it by turning it clockwise. Rinse the ORP electrode with DI water and immerse it into the sample until the reference junction is completely submerged. Don't forget to place on your O-ring. Be sure the tip of the electrode isn't hitting the stir bar. Additional DI water may be added if necessary. Insert the dosing tip into the tube sleeve. It is critical that the tip be submerged about a half a centimeter into the solution. Finally, select Continue to begin the calibration. When finished, Calibration Completed will display. Now that the instrument is set up, it's time to measure a wine sample. Press Menu, then Setup to select the range for measurement. Again, we'll be performing a low-range free sulfur dioxide measurement right now. Ensure your pump is primed and calibrated with the correct titrant. Using a clean pipette, precisely add 50 milliliters of wine sample to the 100 milliliter beaker. The volume of wine added is critical for an accurate measurement. Fill the 20 milliliter beaker up to the 5 milliliter mark with the acid reagent and add it to the sample beaker. Add the contents of 1 packet of stabilizer to the sample beaker. Select Titrator if you aren't already there. Again, don't place the dosing tip into the sample just yet, but rather over a waste beaker. This is important. Press Start and wait for the syringe to refill. Place the stir bar into the beaker and put the beaker into the beaker holder. Rinse the electrode with DI water and immerse into the sample, covering the junction. Be sure not to hit the stir bar and don't forget your O-ring. Insert the dosing tip into the sleeve, making sure it's a half a centimeter down. Additional DI water may be added if necessary. And press Continue to begin the titration. The instrument will continuously display the concentration. The titration curve may be seen during measurement by selecting Plot On. You may exit this mode by selecting Plot Off. When complete, the mini titrator will display the concentration of SO2 in parts per million. Press Log if you wish to record the information. The mini titrator is capable of storing up to 200 samples into its memory. Press Restart to begin a new titration, or Escape to return to the menu. Before we go, I'll show you how to access the data log. It's easy. If you'd like to call up any log data, press Menu, then Recall. You can select Titrator or Meter to view their respective logs, and if you have a USB device plugged in, you'll see an option to export the data list. Press Titrator to view the titrator log. The arrow keys allow you to scroll through the record list. In this menu, you have the option to delete a single record, delete all of the records, or call up the specific info of a record. Inside a specific record, you can plot it to see the curve, or export that record to a USB device for later viewing. You can escape out of the menus at any time. And that's how you measure free sulfur dioxide using the HI84500 free and total sulfur dioxide mini titrator. The procedure for measuring total sulfur is the same, with the addition of an alkaline reagent. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, please visit us at hannainst.com. Thanks, and so long.